on the video. This is going to be my Game Awards predictions live stream. We are one of the official co-streams of the Game Awards tonight. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you got alerts turned on so you can be here. We'll be co-streaming. We'll be talking it up, having a good time, looking at all of the announcements and the trailers. And what I wanted to do with this stream was literally just walk through the nominations and just talk about who I think's going to win. Now, I know it'll probably devolve into a debate about God of War versus Elden Ring. I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm not really going to entertain a lot of debate points on the front end of the stream, though, because if you're watching this as a VOD, I want you to have the opportunity to just really enjoy me combing through each category and sort of saying who I think is going to win. I'm going to end the previous member stream and bring everybody over. We did a little member stream break today. If you're not a member, you missed out. For Thursday Throwdown, I showed off some indie titles, and we found some good ones, and that's a huge benefit to you as a member. That is not something I do in my normal live streams. That's something I reserve just for members, and we do members goals every stream, but I'm letting you guys carry over the 15 surplus from last one. Every 25 members, I gift 5, so we only need 10 more, and I'll do that this stream, all right? So, guys, remember, go through the rituals. If you want to see what everybody's saying in chat, if you want to be a part of the debate and the discussion, don't be on top chat, be on live chat, and smash that like button, all right? And feel free to gift members and get to that next member goal. You guys are the absolute best. So let's kick things off with the big one. I mean, obviously, this is the category. You can see voting has closed. I already cast my vote. Lone Wolf's going to kick things off with 5 members. So let me just come to this scene here and update it to 20. There we go. We only need 5 more now. So this is obviously the big category. This is the one that everybody's going to be debating. Apparitional Wolf Shadow, Backwood Biscuit, Jones Jr., Steve McCormick, and Steve 7. You guys all got members. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to turn alerts off just for a second so the front end of the stream is not completely blinking alerts while I sort of make my case for each category, but continue to gift those members and jump in as a paying member. So I did vote for God of War Ragnarok. Now, I've recently debated with people about how I do think Elden Ring is a generational defining game. I believe that the open world, the way they approach the open world with the exploratory purpose, the emergent dynamic discovery, it really truly feels like you're discovering meaningful things, a reason to look for constant, nooks and crannies and holes and caves. And I've even wanted a randomizer so that, the map and the items and the enemies and the bosses could all just completely be different for a fresh experience. I think it's one of, it is the greatest open world game I have ever played. So I will be totally fine if Elden Ring wins. I'll be totally fine with that. It won't bother me at all. I can celebrate that. I can kind of stand and applaud and clap for them, because I do think it is a worthy opponent to Ragnarok. Now, the reason I think Ragnarok will win is because of recency bias. I think also that the story and the way they approached it, the voice acting, the cinematics, the uptick in graphical fidelity from the previous game, the size and scope, it's just at a very exceptional level. And so that is fundamentally why I think it goes to Ragnarok and why I think Ragnarok wins. There is a little bit of bias there, too. I think I enjoyed Ragnarok more than Elden Ring, even though I played Elden Ring more than Ragnarok, which is kind of interesting. But I do think it wins. Now, exclusivity won't hurt it, no, because PlayStation exclusive titles have won before, so being exclusive doesn't really hurt it. Now, Elden Ring played their cards very intelligently with recency bias. They just pushed out a free Elden Ring update, a free DLC that centers around PvP, and that has it on everybody's mind, and it's in the headlines, and everybody's thinking about it again, and everybody just recently jumped back in to play it. And if they were allowing game journalists and the gaming press and gaming media to sort of continue to think about it and vote and sort of weigh in all the way up until today, well, then that free update to Elden Ring was probably a very well-played strategy by Bandai Namco and FromSoft. So that's my sort of case on Game of the Year. Now, with respect to the other games in the category, Stray, I predicted that Stray would get a nomination. I told people that I thought that game sort of took the gaming world by storm and that it would get a nomination, and that nomination would essentially be an honorable mention, everybody knowing that it won't win, and yet it is a nice honorable mention to say, hey, Stray, you did something phenomenal, small team, cute idea, original take on a game, and they took the gaming world by Storm. Xenoblade Chronicles is one that I think some of my bias is showing. I don't really play games like that. They're not really in my wheelhouse, but I do know it was very, very highly praised and people really enjoyed it. So it may come out of left field and steal this one. I really don't think it will. Horizon Forbidden West is obviously getting sort of cannibalized by God of War Ragnarok. They're very similar in that they are action-adventure Sony exclusive titles, and they obviously are not similar in experience, but they're in that same sort of genre, and I think Ragnarok sort of outshined Forbidden West in a variety of ways. Plague Tale Requiem, just no pun intended, was plagued by performance issues and problems, and I think that really, really hurts it in the running. It's beautiful, but there were many people that even when they reviewed it didn't feel like it added much more when compared to the original game. I wanted to enjoy and complete and play Plague Tale Requiem, but I actually just ended up walking away from it after one play session because it just played so poorly. It was so unenjoyable and just not very fun. My man On Nobody coming in. I'll turn alerts back on now that we're kind of out of the intro of the show. Absolutely love the arenas. Got so many wins and losses, unfortunately, but had so much fun last night. Absolutely love the arenas. Oh, you're talking about Elden Ring. Thank you, On Nobody, for the $10 tip. And thank you again for kicking off the stream, Lone Wolf, with a 5 gifted member. As you guys can see, we're right on the doorstep of hitting another 25. And every 25 members, I gift 5. It's a way of paying it forward and saying thank you. So you guys can obviously make that happen in this stream. We've got plenty of time. And make sure you're here tonight for the members. Make sure you're here tonight for the co-stream of the Game Awards. That won't be members only. That'll be public. And do me a favor. This is our second public stream of the day, so make sure that you are on live chat so you can see what everybody's saying, and then consider smashing that like button if you are enjoying the show. Now, best game direction is obviously going to be very much related to Game of the Year. I don't know if there's a trend here. I don't know if there is a streak. But I would imagine that a lot of the times Game of the Year also ends up taking Best Direction. And it says, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Now, this is one of those times where I feel like Elden Ring could win this category and not win Game of the Year because of the innovation that they brought to open world games and the direction and the design. I actually think the game direction and the design of the open world is unmatched. So I do think they may win this category while not winning Game of the Year. However, winning this category, I do think puts you into a prime spot. It puts you in prime contention for the big kahuna for Game of the Year. Now, I know some people are going to bring up Immortality. For Forbidden West, again, I think would lose to Ragnarok. Stray, again, feels like that honorable mention. Okay, but I do think Immortality could completely end up sleeping and stealing this one, being sort of like the sleeper hit, because it was such a creative idea, and it was done in such a way that was pretty ambitious and pretty brave, and could have gone very poorly for them. So I do think that one may end up completely stealing this one. In every category, I think there's that possibility that the sort of right on the edge of the frame game just kind of comes in and bodies everybody else and steals the prize. And that very well could happen in Best Game Direction. My vote, honestly, is for Elden Ring. If I were voting, if I were choosing, I would be choosing Elden Ring for this category, for all of the extensive argumentation that I trotted out yesterday with respect to why I think it is a generationally defining game, and why I think it's in a very, very unique category as an open world game. Even within FromSoft's repertoire, I think it is a very, very unique approach, and I think it's worthy of praise. And last year, we had a lot of games up here that I just didn't think were necessarily worth it. I didn't think were particularly good. So that's my take on Best Game Direction. If you're just tuning in, we are doing the Game Awards predictions. We will be co-streaming the Game Awards 2022 tonight live on YouTube, so make sure you're back here for that. That is in approximately 6 hours. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's in approximately 5 hours. So wherever you are in the world. And thank you for spamming those Lono Dope emotes, those thumbs up. It reminds everybody to do the thumbs up. Let's go to the next category. Best narrative. This is one where I think undeniably Elden Ring doesn't stand much of a chance. I'm kind of surprised it's even nominated. Its narrative is incredibly weak. It's one of the more criticized aspects of the game. Many people ended that game and had no idea what had happened. It also says for outstanding storytelling and narrative development, which both of those things I would argue are not very strong in Elden Ring. They're actually almost completely and utterly lacking in Elden Ring. So I don't think that's even remotely in contention here. I actually think this is going to go between Ragnarok, Immortality, and Plague Tale. Now that we're not in gameplay and graphical and, performance issues and all of that, I do think Plague Tale, is a contender. I fundamentally think this one goes to God of War Ragnarok, right? Yo, it's good night, Train. How are you? I think this one goes to Ragnarok. I would pick Ragnarok. The voice acting alone, I think, makes this one go to Ragnarok. Again, this could be one of those categories where Immortality comes in and just absolutely steals it. Nobody's really paying attention to it, and it may come in and steal it. But as far as the actual storytelling and narrative development, I do think Ragnarok did a lot of really special things that they didn't do in the first game. I actually got emotional playing Ragnarok. I got, at least twice, got very, very invested, way more than I have, probably not since I played a game like Hellblade. So I would give this one to Ragnarok. If Plague Tale Requiem or Immortality wins this, I wouldn't necessarily argue against those titles. I would argue against Forbidden West or Elden Ring winning this because I don't think they were nearly as strong as Ragnarok with respect to story. So that's generally my take on this one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being here for our second talk show of the day. This morning we took a look at Diablo. Then we did a members only segment stream and we looked at some games for Throwdown Thursday. We checked out some little indie demos and that was actually really, really enjoyable. So if you're a member, be sure to check out that VOD or consider becoming a member. And thank you guys for being here. This is our second stream. We're actually going to be doing a third stream tonight when the Game Awards go live. So that's my take on this category. We've looked at Game of the Year, we've looked at Best Direction, and now we've looked at Best Narrative. Next category is Best Art Direction. This is a harder category, I think, to sort of, quantify what you think, right? Because it says for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation, okay? So this one, I don't think you can give to Elden Ring. I don't even think Elden Ring should be nominated for this because I don't think they achieved anything technically. I think their game struggled technically at launch. As far as artistic design and animation, okay, a lot of the animations in Elden Ring are taken right out of the previous game, and the artistic design is very good. Now, because of some of that, I actually think Ragnarok is going to struggle here. I do. I think Ragnarok, with respect to artistic design, animation, and achievement, I don't think it's as strong necessarily as Horizon Forbidden West or Scorn. I actually think Scorn ends up taking this one. I actually would end up voting for Scorn or Forbidden West, one of the two. I do think Horizon Forbidden West makes great pains to have the people and their armor and their weapons and what they look like and the huts and everything. They do a very, very good job with that. And there's a section in Horizon Forbidden West which is just brilliantly designed. It's sort of a buried like Las Vegas area with like neon lights and sand and everything else. I do think artistic design, like some of the areas in Elden Ring, like some of you guys are saying, I do think some of the vistas and some of the areas are absolutely breathtaking, but because it says technical achievement, I have to take points away from Elden Ring because of how poorly it ran, and I'm still having to run the PS4 version on my PS5 to get a more stable version of the game. So I can't give it an award for technical achievement and art design and animation when the game has performance issues. I really do think that takes it down a couple of notches. The moments flying in Horizon Forbidden West showing the vistas in the sky. Yeah, I think Horizon Forbidden West is more artistically strong than Ragnarok. But then you really have to consider what Scorn did. Scorn took the artwork of H.R. Giger and sort of put it into a very, very creative, very, I think, artistically strong game. And so I do think this is going to be between Forbidden West and Scorn. Are you hosting the show tonight? I will be doing a co-stream tonight. Yes, I'll be hosting my own show here tonight. And thank you, everybody, for being here. I love seeing all of the people in chat. I love seeing all those badges and green names. Thank you so much. Usually, if you're new to the stream, usually we're in this scene having a talk show, and you can see here you guys went kind of crazy this morning. We had such a big stream. I let you kind of carry over the surplus. We're already 5 members away, and Sven's going to push us even closer. Thank you, Sven. That pushes us to 21. Every 25 members, I have to gift 5, and Sven just got us a little bit closer to that goal. Thank you, Sven. And that one went to Night Train. I love seeing it go to a name that we recognize. Night Train, you are back in the member pool. Welcome back in, Night Train. Was Scorn good? I didn't see anything. I actually thought Scorn was quite good. I thought Scorn did a bad job with their marketing. They made it sort of look like a shooter, and it's more of a grotesque, slow-moving puzzler, you know? And so I feel bad for Scorn. I don't think it was properly marketed. So, yeah. So we've looked at Game of the Year, we've looked at Best Director, we've looked at Best Narrative, and now we're looking at Best Art Direction. So 20 months from Creature. What announcements and or reveals do you hope to see tonight? Thank you, Creature, for 20 months and for doing a Member Plus. I really am hoping that we get a concrete launch date and details on Diablo 4. Really excited about that. I would love to see a substantive DLC announced for Elden Ring, because I thought what they did with Elden Ring was cool, but it doesn't interest me, the arena fighting, the PvP. So I would love to see a substantive, PvE DLC. I want to see Elden Ring DLC, right? It would be cool to see some strong stuff from Sony, now that Sony's kind of had their year. They had Horizon Forbidden West, they had Last of Us Part 1, they had Ragnarok. Okay, now it's time to put eyes forward. It'd be cool for Sony to show up and finally maybe show us some gameplay of Spider-Man 2. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe give us another cinematic trailer of Wolverine to remind us that you're making it. Maybe a Horizon Forbidden West. There's rumors that there will be a Horizon Forbidden West DLC announcement, so pretty excited about that. So I think all of those things would make me pretty happy. So yeah, Spider-Man 2 for sure. I don't know. I really, really don't know. I just hope we aren't expecting Elden Ring DLC. I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for Elden Ring DLC. I think what they did this week might have been them intentionally sort of navigating and saying, hey, let's get on everybody's radar before we make our big announcement about some DLC. So that's my hope. It is. Night Train says, thanks, chat. Happy to be back. Glad to see you with a purple badge next to your name, Night Train. Who's going to pick up those 4 members that we need for the next milestone? Come on, let's do it. So those are all the things I'd like to see. Yeah, I would love to see some Hellblade 2. I think Hellblade 2 is just so far out that I don't think they're going to want to talk about it. I think Microsoft's going to keep Hellblade 2 under their hat until the summer of next year, primarily because they want Starfield and Redfall to have their time in the sun. So, yeah. Hope is fine, expectations not. No, yeah, I don't expect it. I just really hope we see it. So, Avowed, again, I just think too early. I think things like Avowed and Hellblade 2, they're going to keep under their hat until summer of next year. They want to let Redfall and Starfield do their thing. I also think Xbox might be a little quiet tonight after that $70 price jump. I do think, though, there's a very distinct possibility that Microsoft wanted to get the $70 new price jump out of the way so that tonight they could show us more about Starfield. Maybe give us a Redfall release date or something like that. I could see them wanting to get sort of the quote-unquote bad news out of the way before, opening their mouth to talk about anything. I don't know what to expect from Sony, but I know whatever it will be exciting. Avowed is dead, just like Elder Scrolls 6. Don't know about that. Fable, I'm hoping. Factions 2. Oh, yeah. Star Wars Jedi Survivor we'll probably see tonight as well. If you're just tuning in, we are doing the Game Awards predictions. So make sure you smash like, switch to live chat, and contribute to the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. What would you like to see tonight? Who do you think wins Game of the Year? We are currently combing through all the categories. We are on Best Art Direction, and I actually think that I would vote for Horizon Forbidden West to win this one. It may end up going to Scorn. Either of those, I think, are worthy of the award. Hope Microsoft say they're making the next Halo. Still waiting for you to try the Clash Artifacts of Chaos demo. Oh, I tried it today during the member stream, Cool Spoon, and I did not like it very much, but you can check that out in the VOD. Lido Diaz coming in with an 11-month milestone. All I want to see tonight is Cal Kestis looking like a stud with that beard. Yeah, and not wearing a poncho. Yeah, give me a beard. Take the poncho off. Let's see Cal looking tough. I agree with you. And they have confirmed inadvertently with the stuff that they showed on Steam by accident that Cal will have a blaster in the new game. So you'll be able to dress like Obi-Wan, Han Solo, or Luke Skywalker based on what you order and how you feel like dressing up. So I'm pretty excited about that. So some Lords of the Fallen would be cool. Yeah, maybe. Okay, next category. Best score and music. Hey, there it is. Reaper is going to take us past the goal and put us at 26. That means I have to gift 5 members. Every 25 members, I have to gift an additional 5. Reaper, thank you for doing that. Anthony Bustos, ETP Counterfeit Killer, Pog, and Mark Batello. You guys all just got a membership. That means you can be a part of the member streams every single day when I break for lunch. Also means that you can watch on Friday nights when I play games with my wife and have some drinks and some laughs. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you got notices turned on so you don't miss out. Consider getting in our Discord so you don't miss out on all those things. And I'm a man of my word. Here comes my 5 gifteds as well for the community. Thank you guys so much for being here and being awesome. And then I'm going to update how many we've got to 31. And then that means all we have to do is hit 55. If we hit 55, over 25, if we hit 55, I will do it again. I will do it again. 24 more, and I will do it again. FTC is suing. They've formally announced it. You pronounced my name right. Congrats. Anthony Bustos? Bustos? Oh, man, I forget how I said it now. I think maybe I got lucky. In any case, thank you so much for being here. Anthony Bustos. That's probably what it is. Do people call you, what do people call you, like Bustos? Probably Bustos. Bustos. In any case, delete these receipts from YouTube. I don't need them. No. Gonna be a good day. Really is. You guys are killing those member goals. Thank you so much for helping us with that, man. The community's really owning it. And if you are a part of this now, if you just got a membership or maybe it's your first time ever watching, it's a really special community here. So thank you so much. Okay, so best score and music. For outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. This is an incredibly tough category to call, right? Incredibly tough category to call. I would vote for Elden Ring because I thought Elden Ring's score was absolutely epic and just phenomenal. Now, God of War Ragnarok's score is amazing. There's a really good original song in there as well. I believe that original song will be performed tonight at the Game Awards. Blood Upon the Snow, I think is what it's called. But I actually give this one to Elden Ring. Now, we've been hearing that Xenoblade Chronicles soundtrack is absolutely stunning. We've also got to consider that Metal Hellsinger did something extremely cool and extremely sort of unprecedented, right? You've been invited to join a server. You're crediting watching you around. What is this? Oh, you got hacked. You got hacked, mate. There's some guy inviting me to a dirty, one decision made you mad. Instead of speaking up, informing feedback, you complained amongst yourselves. Yeah, I don't know who this person is. It's some 2017. He messaged me, and now he's sending me an invite to some dirty Discord. News just broke. FTC is actually suing Microsoft. Yep. Well, there you go. Let me get the invite. Not sure it's... I don't think it's your cup of tea, Barrier, from what I saw. Music in Elden Ring. Open World alone should win this category. Very tough category. Game scoring has just massively improved. Yes, I think this is going to be an incredibly tough category. Really, really tough category. Really, really challenging. Plague Tale Requiem might even take it. Like, Plague Tale had really good music, but I really think this one goes to Elden Ring. That's my vote. That's my prediction. That's where I think it's going to land. I honestly, I don't actually think any of these games winning would make me mad. Right? None of this makes me mad. It doesn't. If any of these guys win, I won't care. I think they all did really, really cool stuff. I'm just taking it on other people's word for Xenoblade, but I've played all 4 games, all the other 4 games. I've played Metal Hellsinger, God of War, Elden Ring, and Plague Tale, so I would be fine with any one of them winning. And so Xenoblade, I take it on other people's authority that it's a really, really good game. So the awards are rigged for Elden? I don't think so. This is one category where if Elden Ring doesn't win, I'll call foul. I actually think Elden Ring is the strong frontrunner here. I really do. I think Elden Ring's score is the strong frontrunner for this category. So, if you guys are enjoying the stream, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you're subscribed so you can talk in my chat. You will see there are gifted members at the top of the stream. They've already been claimed. So if you want to get in, you got to do your own or gift some yourself. And make sure you also have smashed the like button. Let's go to the next category. Best audio design. This one's really, really tough because I actually think this one goes to Call of Duty, which I know sounds incredibly weird, but Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has just unbelievable sound design. It really, really was impressive. The sounds of the guns, the impact, the echo, just how it sounded in the environments and the different places. Very, very impressive work done with audio design in Modern Warfare 2. Now, I know Gran Turismo is also up there for similar reasons. I think it's sort of between Modern Warfare 2 and Gran Turismo. I do. I don't think there's anything particularly impressive about the sound design in Elden Ring or Horizon Forbidden West or God of War. I really don't. I think they all did fine. They didn't do a bad job, right? They didn't do a bad job. But I do think Gran Turismo and Modern Warfare 2 are the only real competitors in this category because taking real-world sounds that can create lots of noise pollution I think is a really, really unique challenge. If you look at how bad the sound is in Outriders, and you just think about the artistry and the care that it takes to get sound right in a car game, very, very easily could have gone south and been bad and not sounded good. So I think that's a greater challenge. I think it's more impressive when people take real-world sounds like gunfire and the revving of engines and driving, and they make it feel as if you're really there. So that's where I would put that one. So that's how I land on it. We're going to be in this scene quite a bit instead of here, so I'm going to quickly do something just so you guys can see it. There we go. As a way to celebrate. Look what you guys have done today yet again. Just crushing it with those member goals. And that again was a member here's suggestion, and it's just been cool to see you guys own it. No one like Aloy talking the whole time. I actually don't mind Aloy's self-narration. It doesn't bother me. I think it's fine. I think it's okay. So, the FTC's official website says that they seek to block the acquisition. Yeah. Yep. The FTC with Lena Khan in the helm isn't keen on big tech mergers, and I just got effing hand waved. Yeah. We kept trying to tell people that the FTC was not going to like this one. All right, next one. Best performance. Now, this again is just a really, 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 really tough category. I think. I really think this is a tough one. because I don't necessarily think anybody did a noticeably better job than anybody else, right? I really don't. I mean, it's really, really difficult. I love Ashley Burch. I think she's just the greatest. I loved her as Tiny Tina. I think she did a great job with Aloy. Charlotte, in Plague Tale, just very, very, very good. This one's really, really hard. Christopher Judge, nothing to think about here. I don't know. Because what Manon Gage did in Immortality, I think is very, very impressive. Really, really impressive. So I think this one's going to be very, very tough to win. Obviously, I would love to give it to Christopher Judge. I think what he brought to Kratos, I think he brought a depth and an emotional breadth that was not there in the last game. And so he had to really expand the character, which I know was probably pretty challenging. And what the kid brought, what Sonny brought to Atreus was also very impressive. So I do think, though, this one might end up getting stolen by Manon Gage. And I don't say stolen in a mean way. I just think what she did was unique in the video game space. So that one, it might end up going to Manon. But Christopher Judge, in my book, if Manon wasn't up there, okay, if Immortality didn't exist and it was just between Ashley Burch, Charlotte, and Sonny, I really think Christopher Judge would just run away with it. He would run away with it. The only one really competing with him at that point would be Charlotte, in my opinion. So this is a very, very tough category. I think everybody did just an excellent job. I don't think anybody is in necessarily even last place. I feel like everybody's tied for second, and one person's going to edge out and win this one. This is going to be winner by a hair in my mind. I love God of War. I love Kratos, but I think that voice acting in general as an art form and as a performance thing is something that's not really praised enough or respected enough. I think there's a growing awareness in just how awesome voice actors are and what they put into a character. I do voices here and there, and people are like, you should get into voice acting. And I'm like, brother, you don't know the level of work and training that these people, have gone through to bring what they bring to the table. So it's a really good category. I won't be mad at anybody winning this category because I don't think anybody did a bad job, or anybody, nobody's getting ripped off if they don't win this one. I think everybody can nod and say the other, Now, when Hellblade swept all of these categories with her last name's Jurgen, I believe, that I think was undeniable, right? That was undeniable. She just absolutely blows almost everybody out of the water whenever the Hellblade voice actor is just on the docket. You're probably going to lose to her, and she wasn't even a voice actor. It was a stand-in from their video editing department. So, yeah, I think that this is pretty much a tie in my book, and anybody that wins this one, I am totally happy with. Hey, somebody ordered some coffee. 2 bag of Frickmas, Solid Snake, love coffee in the show. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much, Solid Snake, for ordering some of the Frickmas blend. I greatly appreciate that so much. It's more than voice acting. It's mocap actions. It's beyond just landing the voice. Yeah, I think that's something we need to remember, is a lot of the work that goes into this, like what Christopher Judge brings. It's telling me that the coffee is in transit in Kentucky as of 1:42. So the coffee made it to Kentucky exceptionally fast. So I think we might actually get the coffee tomorrow. I don't know how they did that. So yeah, I just checked the Frickmas tracking, and it's in Louisville. It made it to Louisville very, very fast. It must have got on a plane in one of the cities. And not a truck. It was on a truck, but it must have gotten switched to a plane at some point. Unless that truck put jet fuel in its tank. I don't know. Tech says that we're lacking in the like department. We are. We're lacking in the like department. We're not lacking in the member department. You guys have been crushing those member goals. I appreciate that. Games for Impact. Now, every time this category comes up, especially when we cover it tonight, people are going to spam things like woke and blah, blah, blah. I think people need to understand and acknowledge that games can have very important messages. Art as a concept, it was born out of the idea of expressing meaning and belief and ideas. So if you study the history of art, if you study the history of paintings and sculptures, playwrights, books, things of that nature, I think you will find that treating video games in this way is a tad foolish. Because if we want video games to be more respected and viewed as a legitimate art form, then I think we have to acknowledge that some people enter this landscape and try to tell very meaningful stories about things that are important to them. It might not be important to you, right? I played Endling, okay? This was about extinction and, biome disruption and, how we treat the earth. You might not give a frick about that, and that's okay. That's okay, right? If somebody made a video game that was all about, I don't know, some sort of social issue that wasn't super important to me, that's okay. I don't have to get super involved and care. I don't have to care and go, let's say there was a video game that really wanted to show how poorly, veterans and the homeless are treated, and they just really wanted to draw attention to it, right? I don't think if that's not important to me, if it's not really in my purview or care, that there's no reason to dismiss it. Shouldn't gaming be a place for people to escape political problems? What's funny is you are making a political statement when you say that. It's inescapable. If you're going to claim that video games should be a place to escape, political problems or social discussion or political discussion, you are taking a political and social stance when you say that. And that's why I'm making space for it. You don't have to play the games, support the games, or even like the games. But I think the video game landscape is big enough to make space for games that are thought-provoking with a pro-social meaning or message. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you don't like these games, that's totally fine. Imagine taking that same attitude. Wait until I tell you about Star Wars. Yeah. I know, Wheezy. It's like, don't watch Star Trek and don't watch Star Wars. If you do, you better shut your brain off, because there's a lot in there that maybe you just aren't picking up. Anyway, so, at the end of the day, imagine treating a category like that just because, let's say, you really do not like sports games. Well, there's still going to be a category for sports games, is there not? Think of it that way. Maybe just start to open up your mind a little bit and say, listen, games for impact, games with a strong social message, they're just not for me. That's totally fine. That you can say the same thing about sports games or racing games. I say that. I don't have any dog in the fight or any care or concern for sports games, racing games, and fighting games. But they're still worthy of note. They're still worthy of being nominated for awards and the like. So if games for impact is a category that's just not for you, you can just say, I don't really care for these games. And that's perfectly fine. But I just ask that you leave space for them. That's all. That's all I'm asking, right? Okay. As far as this category is concerned, I can't pick one because I only played one of them. I played Endling. I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. It was adorable. It was very touching and heartwarming. But at the end of the day, I can't say anything about this category because I didn't play any of these games except for Endling. So what I have to say in this category is, let's leave space for this category. We don't need to poo-poo this category, just like any other gaming genre that you might not like. So that's my take on it. All right? Okay. Next category. Best ongoing game. So this is awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. I believe that this will go to Final Fantasy. And I believe Final Fantasy deserves to win this one. You could make pretty strong arguments that Destiny 2 should not, in light of the current season and the last season, and the general response from the community has been, you're not evolving the player experience, right? That's the major criticism right now. That's a criticism that's even been acknowledged by Bungie. So people pulling for Destiny 2, the developers themselves have acknowledged they've not really evolved the content. They've not really evolved the player experience. It's very repetitious. It's very copy pasta. And there's nothing wrong with formulaic live service. I'm not knocking them. I think some people might say the same about games like Fortnite, where they do a lot of the same things over and over again. So I think this one goes to Final Fantasy because of all the work they poured into it. They had to stop selling the most recent expansion because it was just in such high demand. We definitely do not want Genshin Impact winning this category because it is a gacha piece of trash. So I'm pulling for Final Fantasy to win this one. I really hope that it wins it. I don't know enough about Apex to commentate, but the general news headlines and consensus about Destiny hasn't been strong enough for it to win, in my opinion. Final Fantasy has been nothing but praise. Too much praise. Again, the demand for the one expansion was so high, they didn't have servers and they had to stop selling it. Imagine having the demand for your ongoing, support of your game to be so insanely high. Now, I agree with Stephen Marston. I think No Man's Sky being absent from this list is a crime. I think the last 12 months of additions to No Man's Sky has been incredible, right? I think is been incredible. Strong disagree. Genshin is gacha, but it's not trash. Well, gacha and trash are the same thing. So, I honestly am irritated that No Man's Sky is not on this list. It's honestly kind of surprising in light of everything that they have done. I believe that No Man's Sky was on this list last year, so maybe that's why it's not on this list this year. Maybe since the last time it got nominated, maybe they haven't done much. I don't know. I think they set up the expeditions system last time, and since then they've kind of just, continued it, right? So, I'm surprised it's not on here, but more than likely it's not on here because it was on here last time, and since then they've just kind of done more expeditions. I'm not undercutting what Hello Games has done. I love Hello Games. I love Sean Murray, and I think they've done really something incredibly special. So, I see you taking D2 or Genshin out in favor of No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky won it last year. Oh, did it actually win last year? Okay. Well, then I'm not as upset. I'm not. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, roughly 400 people here. Great way to support what we do. Chime in the chat, become a part of the conversation, smash the like button. Thank you so much for being here. You do need to be a subscriber to the channel. Subscribing is totally free, and you can consider becoming a member as well. Every 25 members, I have to give 5 to the community. I've already done that 3 times today, and you can see down in the corner we're already past the 25. We're already 1 in the hole, so we only need 24 more. So, ouch, Genshin isn't as bad as you say. Any game that is gacha, I think is garbage. I think it's bad for the industry. I think it's bad for the people who play them. I think it's bad for monetization practices. So, I'm opposed. I am principally opposed to gacha games. So, next category. This is probably the toughest, most competitive, this is probably the closest race of the entire Game Awards. Right here. Right here. This is it. This is the closest race. This is the absolute neck and neck race to the finish line. Best indie. This right here is one of my favorite categories because it's proof that gaming is in a great place, because these indie games are absolutely wonderful. They're all great. I didn't even like all of them. Well, not that I didn't like all of them. I didn't like Sifu that much, but Sifu is still great. Okay? I can't call this one. I can't. But I'll tell you this. I think Stray is going to win by the sheer nature of the fact that it's the only one in the running that has a Game of the Year nomination. I think that gives it a leg up, or a paw up in the competition. I'm sorry. Anyways, I think the fact that Stray has a Game of the Year nomination, I think it gives it a leg up. I think it ends up winning this category. This is a very, 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 very competitive category. Vampire for Survivors is my pick, but it missed the cutoff. Yeah, it'll be nominated next year for sure. It will. For F's sake, I just got here. Well, Abe, it's in your contract. You might want to check the fine print. It's in your contract. Every time I do a successful dad joke and you get angry, you have to gift members. So sorry, bud. Read your contract. I don't have a dog or a cat in this fight. Got you another one. Anyways, I don't have a dog in this fight. If any of these win, I'll be thrilled. Tunic was built by one person. Stray took the world by storm. Sifu was ambitious and brave. Cult of the Lamb also took the gaming world by storm and is just charming and awesome. So there it is. Thank you, Abe, pushing us a little bit closer. There it is. Thanks for the gifted, Abe. Oh, there's another one, Abe. Chat, I need you all to do what Abe just did. Seriously. You need to read the fine print of your contracts. Every dad joke, you all have to gift one member. So I need all 401 people right now to gift members. So, yeah. Stop with the jokes, right? Meow. Good one. So yeah, I'm okay with any of these winning. I don't know enough about Neon White, but everything I saw from it, it looked like it was highly praised, very cool, awesome art style. So yeah, I'm cool with it. Yo, Steven Marston's gonna do it. There it is. If you guys get a gifted membership from this man, welcome on in. Glad to see Dark Taco get one from Abe, as well as Tyler Savioli and Jaeger. You guys all just got gifted members. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Pushing us a little bit closer to the next 25 goal. You got to be kidding me. That's good. Oh, that's really good. Don't they have to be good dad jokes? All right, come on, Corey. Don't be unkind. Don't be mean just because I, told you that gacha games are crap or garbage. So, Stray will win this one by a whisker. Great. That's good work. I had to give Brian a nice little standing O. Good. Winner by a whisker. I like that. Very nice. Very good. All right, if you guys are just tuning in and you've never been here before, thanks so much for hanging out here at Reforge Gaming. We will be co-streaming the Game Awards tonight. We are one of the official co-streamers, so make sure you're here tonight. We'll be live in about 4.5 hours for that. Right now, we're going through all the categories and making our predictions. Please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. That way you can talk in the chat and let us know what you think. And the more often you're here, the more likely you will get a gifted member. And every 25 members, I have to gift 5. So you have a high chance of getting one. All right, let's go to the next category. Best cat joke category. There are no good dad jokes. That's the point of them. Thank you, Loot. Best mobile game. The best game playable on a mobile device. Okay, so this one's tough. Okay, this one's tough. Because if we're gonna stand on principle of monetization, then Genshin and Diablo should not be able to win. Okay, but sadly, I don't think that's going to be a determining factor. Part of me hopes that Marvel Snap wins it just because of a total landslide, because it's Marvel, everyone loves Marvel, and it's been crushing it, right? It's been absolutely crushing it. I think Diablo Immortal is going to be a tough category, a tough one to beat. I do. I think it's going to be a tough one to beat just because it was very popular and did very well, and everyone talked about it. But I do think the gaming press turned on Immortal enough. There was enough of the gaming press that turned on Immortal, which will, I think, subsequently almost like reverberate and hurt Genshin's chances. So I think this one ends up going to Marvel Snap. So Best mobile game is Gotham Knights. Well done, Dan. Well done. Yeah, guys, the real question is, why isn't Gotham Knights up here? You know, out of all the mobile games that came out this year, it's really surprising that Gotham Knights is not listed here, you know? That is shocking. Seemed like a very big and robust mobile game. So, anyway, honestly, if monetization is not a factor, then Diablo Immortal deserves it. Yeah, I think Diablo Immortal might end up winning unless enough of the press turned on it because of the monetization. That'll sway the internal voting enough, you know? So, yeah, well done, Dan, with that joke. Best community support. Undeniably, I think this is between Final Fantasy and No Man's Sky. Again, I don't think Destiny 2 deserves it in light of, you know, everything I already said in the previous discussion. Too many headlines to the contrary. I also think with respect to community engagement, the way that they respond, it even says social media activity. I actually think that knocks Destiny out of contention. I think their community managers are the worst in the business. I think they're immature and petulant and toxic. And so I think that knocks them completely out of contention. Final Fantasy and No Man's Sky, in my book, are... I think these are the two front runners for me. Just based on headlines, the way they interact with the public, the way that Sean Murray interacts with the public. I think they both do very, very, very good work. I think Final Fantasy, again, just has really, really crushed it. So, yeah, they went on, like, communication strike, too. Yeah, because people were being mean. Again, why were people being mean? Because your support wasn't very good. Anyway, No Man's Sky has good community support, never negative. Yeah. I would say Fortnite should get best community support. Well, it says here, transparency, responsiveness, social media activity, game updates, and patches. I just think that makes it hands down No Man's Sky's category to lose. Because the way that they respond, how transparent they've been, the way they interact on social media, their patches, their updates, you know, how quickly they fix things. I just think No Man's Sky absolutely crushes this category. I really, really do. So... I think you can argue, Destiny 2 right off the podium in light of how the last year has gone for them. I think you can make much stronger arguments for Final Fantasy and No Man's Sky. I just think Fortnite and Apex Legends, let me explain why I don't think Fortnite and Apex Legends deserve to win either. They have to be good at these things. They're literally Battle Royale live service games. Like, you have to have ongoing community support and responsiveness, right? And their social media activity, your games, your updates, your patches, I don't know. I feel like Fortnite has a really bad habit of doing things the community hates and breaking things. Now, I don't know if that's happened in the last 12 months with Fortnite, but it's like, okay, yeah, you guys are really good at community support. Well, they ought to be. They're live service Battle Royale games. You know what I mean? Something about your game getting torn a new one makes you a shoo-in to win best community support. Well, yeah, but that was a long time ago. It's not like that happened, 13 months ago to No Man's Sky. You know what I mean? So, I honestly hope No Man's Sky wins this one, especially since it wasn't in the ongoing game category, but it got nominated here. I really hope No Man's Sky wins it. I love No Man's Sky and Hello Games. I think they're just fantastic. Innovation in accessibility. This will go to God of War Ragnarok. It's not even a competition. If you're unaware of what this category is about, recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. The amount of accessibility features that were put into God of War Ragnarok is honestly somewhat staggering. This will go to God of War Ragnarok. If it doesn't go to God of War Ragnarok, I could even see the accessibility community. I could even see them being very angry. It was a very celebrated game. They were very, very pleased with all of the work that God of War Ragnarok put into it. So the activism deal, this is not about activism. This is about helping people play games who have issues with color blindness, motor function. They might be, there's levels of blindness, and some of those people can still play games. So I actually think this is quite a noble thing for companies to do. This isn't about activism. This is about being, inclusive to those who, might have poor motor function or have to use a certain type of controller, or again, maybe they're colorblind. What are the accessibility things added to God of War? There was a blog post. Wasn't it like 60 plus things that they did, 60 plus features? There was a whole blog post that bullet listed all of the things they did. He meant Activision deal? Oh, did he mean Activision deal? Oh, I thought he was saying activism, because mass produce said skippers, and I thought people were saying to skip this category. I was like, this is a great category. What are you talking about? Yeah, if you were talking about Activision troll, I was like, what? I was like, this category is not about activism. In any case, this category will be a continued one that I think is important. Now, I want to make sure and say this, right? I want to make sure and say this. The importance of accessibility does not reach the threshold of imperative. An imperative is an ought or an ought not, right? Like moral obligation, the idea that you're obligated to do something. I don't think accessibility goes to that level of obligation. And there's a handful of reasons, okay? Not every game has the staffing, the technology, the budget to do it. They don't have the ability, okay? So faulting a company or a game for not doing this, I don't think is fair. Even if it's a big budget title, it still, again, might not have fit into the budget. They might not have had the staff or the departments to do it. So I don't think you can take this category to the level of imperative, but I do think it's noble and worthy of celebration when people do go the extra mile and do all these things, and I think God of War Ragnarok went above and beyond what virtually all other games have done. So it will win this category, hands down. $5 tip from Detective Seeds. I think he meant Activision because FTC just sued them and IGN announced massive layoffs all before the Game Awards. Wait, IGN is laying people off? Even Christmas. So, yeah. Good category. And game of the and this one goes to God of War Ragnarok. I think the bigger the game, the more there should be an imperative for accessibility. I just don't agree with that, because I think the bigger the game, the bigger the scope and the project, and subsequently the potential for limited resources to be allocated to all of those accessibility features. They just might not have the people, the manpower, the staff, right? Like, if I'm building a very, very large building, I might quite literally not have the manpower or the money to do anything beyond just building the building. And you're like, well, we really need a team to put in, accessibility lifts into all of the floors. And I might be like, we just can't do it. We can't afford it. I don't have the people. I don't have the materials. I don't have the manpower. So the larger the scope of the project, I actually don't think that creates a bigger imperative on accessibility features. I just got the news. Oh, Activision's laying off a ton of employees. Give me Christmas. Can't afford it. Your building won't be built. Well, no, I don't agree with that either. So, you have to be very, very careful with moral obligation and imperatives. You just have to be very careful, because you're creating, undue harm on companies to do all of these good and noble things. Now, best VR AR. So this is for the best game experience playable in virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform. Now, I can't say much here, other than I think it'd be dope if Among Us won, because I actually think that's pretty bold. It's one thing to create a VR game. It's another thing to take a game like Among Us and put it into VR, right? So, but I don't have a lot to say here. I don't have a lot to say here. Other than, it'd be cool if Among Us won. If you guys are just tuning in, we are discussing my Game Awards predictions, and we will be co-streaming the Game Awards tonight, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. If I'm ever not on your homepage, always come and check your subscriber feed or come to the channel. Thank you so much for being here, and consider smashing like. That helps the video find more people, and if you want to chime in the discussion about all the different categories, be sure you're subscribed so you can talk in my chat. Best action game. So this says for best game in the action genre, and then it says this, and I think this is important, focused primarily on combat. So I actually think that makes it really hard for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge to win, because the combat in that is pretty simple. I enjoyed it, but I actually found the moment-to-moment combat and the iframes and the dodging in Battletoads to be better, the new Battletoads that came out. So I as much as I love Shredder's Revenge, I actually don't even think it should be in here. It shouldn't even have been nominated, because I don't actually think the combat in Shredder's Revenge, there's nothing special about it. It's a wonderful title, extremely nostalgic for all of us that loved Turtles in Time, but there's nothing in that game's combat that's worthy of a nomination or an award. Okay? Having said that, I think it's going to go to Sifu. I actually would probably argue that it should go to Sifu, given that it was a indie title that achieved a very, very unique, new, and cool combat system. I had my own criticisms of Sifu's combat system, but I actually think Sifu should win this. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's combat, while they did rework the gun system and elevate the shooting and how it feels, I actually don't think the combat in Modern Warfare 2 is its shining achievement. I think the shining achievement in Modern Warfare 2 is the sound design, the voice acting, and the storytelling, but I don't think its combat is really where it shines. I don't. So I would give this one to Sifu. Now, I don't know enough about Bayonetta 3 and Neon White to chime in. I don't know enough, but I would say give this one, this one's probably going to go to Sifu, and I would probably even vote for Sifu. I think when this first came out, I actually voted for MW2, but Wheezy's saying Bayonetta 3, and he's a huge Sifu fan. So I know Bayonetta 3 is a much bigger and more popular title, and Platinum games are very popular, so Bayonetta 3 will probably take this one, even though, it'd be cool to see Sifu win, since Sifu was so combat-focused. So Bayonetta 3 will probably win, though. It's got a lot behind it, especially being a Platinum game. Best Action Adventure. Okay, so this one, again, we have to read the text beneath the category, right? Best Action Adventure Game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. This one's tough. It really is tough, because the traversal and the puzzle solving is really, I don't think, that great in Ragnarok. Arguably, probably the weakest part of Ragnarok is the traversal and the puzzle solving. And the combat is great. Plague Tale, same thing. I don't think combat, traversal, or puzzle solving is anything special. I just don't. Stray's in a weird category because there's not much combat. I actually found some of the traversal in Stray to be irritating and on rails. So this, in my book, is probably between Horizon and Tunic. And the traversal and the puzzle solving in Horizon is good. I found elements of the combat to be irritating, but they did expand the combat system quite a bit from the previous game. So this one will probably go to Horizon Forbidden West. When we did this last, I don't know if I had played enough of Ragnarok to weigh in. I found the puzzle solving and traversal in Ragnarok to be pretty grating, personally. So, Tunic combat, yeah, Tunic combat's where I would hurt it. There's a monotony to it. There's a simplicity to it that it's not going to win a lot of points there. The traversal and the puzzle solving in Tunic is actually pretty cool. So I think I would give this one to Horizon. I think Horizon is stronger in all three categories. Everybody else is weak in one of the categories, like really weak. Like Stray has virtually no combat, and the traversal can be annoying. God of War Ragnarok has great combat, but the traversal and the puzzle solving are probably the biggest blemishes on the game. Plague Tale Requiem didn't really do much with the combat, traversal, and puzzle solving, expanding on the previous game. And, I think Tunic, again, is good, but not great in some of the categories. I think Horizon Forbidden West is, consistently good in all three categories, right? It's good with the combat. They did really cool things with the traversal. And then they did, I think, puzzle solving it's fine and enjoyable, right? So, this is a good category. I think you could debate this one quite a bit. If you wanted to. I think you could. I voted for God of War, but now that I actually think about it, I should have voted Horizon. Yeah, I would vote Horizon. I would vote Horizon here. That's where I would have gone. How is Elden Ring not in the best action adventure category? Because of I would think maybe because of traversal and puzzle solving and combat. You're right. Maybe because is it not classified as an action-adventure game? Is that why? It's probably because it's not classified as one, because it does have combat, traversal, and puzzle solving, and I would argue that Elden Ring's combat, traversal, and puzzle solving is actually quite good. I would imagine it's just not classified as an action-adventure game. It's more considered an open-world RPG, would be my thought. Role-playing. See, here's Elden Ring. More of an RPG. And guess what? God of War and Horizon aren't here. So, I think we just kind of answered it by moving forward after our speculation. Okay. So, this is for the best game designed with rich player customization and progression, including massive multiplayer experiences. No puzzles in Elden Ring? No, there's no puzzles in Elden Ring? Yes, there is. What are you talking about? There's puzzles in Elden Ring. Not like traditional puzzles, but there's puzzles. There's things you have to figure out and solve, and how to open things and get around things. Yeah. There's not like pull the chain, hold the lock, hit the bucket, but Elden Ring definitely has some puzzles in it. It has some find the invisible crap or do this emote, but is that really a puzzle? Yeah, I would say there's some pretty. It's not worth arguing because it's like it's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other. You might call it a puzzle, you might not. It's not in the category, so kind of doesn't matter. It's probably also not really categorized as an action adventure. It's more categorized as an RPG. So, it's quite literally the definition of a puzzle. Yeah, I mean, we can split hairs on puzzle and definition of puzzle, but Elden Ring has puzzles. So, in this category, I would love to see an Elden Ring DLC announcement tonight. I would love it, but I just don't know. I think Elden Ring will win this category, but I'm saying that having not touched the other 4 games. But I just think, based on the overwhelming praise for the build diversity, the replayability of Elden Ring. Like, if you watch Fextra-Life's video that I reacted to, where he argues that Elden Ring wins Game of the Year over Ragnarok, he pointed to the build diversity and the itemization and all of that. Elden Ring has just been so highly praised for those things. I think it ends up winning this category. Now, some people in chat are saying, Xenoblade might win. Yeah, Xenoblade's definitely been up here a couple of times, nominated. It's also gotten, a nomination for Game of the Year, so could win as well. So, the other ones, I can't comment on the other ones, and that's not a slam. I don't have anything to say about the other ones. I just think Elden Ring is in such a strong standing in this category. It'd be hard. It's gonna be hard to beat them. Best fighting game. As I said a little while ago, I am not a fighting game guy. Dan is saying, where are the mother effing likes? Yeah, there's a lot of people here. Yeah, we could easily be hitting another like milestone. Dan's calling you guys out. Excuse me. Like, all of a sudden had a fuzz or something. But Best fighting game. So this category says for the best game designed primarily around head-to-head combat. Okay. I don't really know why Sifu's in this category. I think it's kind of weird. I was kind of pulling for Multiverses because of what it did. It entered the brawler landscape, exploded in popularity. People really liked it. I don't know enough about DNF Duel or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure or the King of Fighters. People in chat are kind of pulling for King of Fighters. So I honestly don't know. I really, really don't know. Could be King of Fighters. It'll probably be Multiverses. I feel like Multiverses might win this for the same reason that Stray might win some of the categories. You know? Like, it just kind of... Multiverses just kind of, like, took the gaming world by storm. And it was... I mean, how easy is that? Right? How easy is that to enter into, like, the brawler, like the Smash Brothers brawler category and to actually really be super popular? Do you know what I'm saying? I think that what they did was pretty impressive. I'm not saying that means it's worthy of an award, but it did something that was pretty impressive. Best family game. Next to the indie category, I think this is probably the next category that is extremely competitive. This is a really tough category to be in. It's very, very good games listed here. I actually want Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga to win because they did such an excellent job elevating that genre and that game type. It is truly great. My wife and I were playing it the wrong way. We were sort of playing it in a linear way, and you're supposed to play it very sort of like slow and exploratory. And so I'm letting us have some distance from the game, and then we're going to replay it, and we are going to play it super exhaustively. It's going to be so fun to do that. Right now we're playing through Dismantle, and that is just a great, great little game. You guys, you're looking for like survival, isometric, co-op kind of zombie game where you're scrapping everything and destroying everything and building. No, you're not like building a base, like you're leveling up and getting stronger. Dismantle is just excellent. We're playing it on PlayStation Local Co-op. So I actually think this one goes to Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Now, everyone's going to be pulling for Splatoon. I know Splatoon's very popular, and I know Splatoon 3 has received lots of praise. I thought Nintendo Switch Sports was really fun. I know they recently added golf. I haven't had a chance to check it out. I think Nintendo Switch Sports has just... And I mean this. I don't think it wins, but I think Nintendo Switch Sports has very surprising quality in it. The bowling is fantastic. The soccer is incredibly fun. And all the other categories, you know, take them or leave them, but the sword fighting is also really, really fun and really well designed. Nintendo Switch Sports has some really, really good stuff in it. It really does. Now, some of them are just not very good, right? Especially when you play online. Anything, the volleyball, the tennis, things like that, are very, very frustrating to play online because of the lag and the latency. But there's just... Don't sleep on Nintendo Switch Sports. It's it's a really, really fun game, right? Bowling was broken for me. I could get a strike every time. It's almost unfair to go up against Splatoon 3. If there's a game that could go up against it, though, Lego Star Wars pulls, man. Lego Star Wars pulls. It's Lego, and it's Star Wars. It's got two strong things in its corner. So... It's probably going to be between Splatoon and Star Wars, but it probably goes to Splatoon because Splatoon is just, super, super popular. Next category. Thank you guys so much for doing all the things. Thank you for supporting the channel. Everybody who has smashed like so far, thanks for doing that. If you hit subscribe, thank you so much for doing that. All the people that gifted members, thank you for doing that. Thank you for being here. I know people have been ordering coffee as well. Confirm Frickmas is in Louisville. Will be placed on an outgoing truck at midnight. Be in your hands between 8 and 5 tomorrow. Yeah, I checked the tracking a little bit ago and saw that it was in Louisville. I was like, how in the frick did that even happen? That's pretty cool. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have Frickmas tomorrow. So get your Frickmas orders in, guys. Really glad we didn't go out of town. Oh my gosh, what a disaster that would have been. Okay. Let's go to the next category. This category makes me happy because it reminds me that I've got great games to play with my wife. I really, really am excited to go back to Kirby as well. My daughter, let me brag on my daughter a little bit. Indulge me for a moment. So on Saturdays, my kids get to play video games for about 2 hours. And they started enjoying playing games by themselves, and it's fine because it led to less arguing and just more fun. And she started playing Kirby in the Forgotten Land on her own. She beat the entire game, and she has been playing the game on New Game Plus. She's going back through all of the levels, and it's really hard and crazy and purpley and all stormy and stuff. She's getting all these unlocks and secrets and fighting. There was a boss rush thing that she had to do where she fought like 3 of the bosses in a row, and they were way harder. And I was extremely proud of the fact that there were a couple of days where I heard the dying music, the dip-a-dip-a-dip-boo-bip-boo. I heard that music where you die multiple times, and she just kept going and kept trying. You know, she was committed. And finally, there were a couple times she said, Papa, can you help me? I can't beat this. But she usually would not ask for my help until she had failed, I don't even know, 20 times. So she's tough, man. My girl's got grit. She's got grit. She's got some of that. She's got some of my grit in her, and I'm very, very proud of that. Struggles a little bit with self-control and being rambunctious and wild. She's got some grit. Sounds like she's ready for Souls games. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. I look forward to when she's old enough to, make some content with me. You know what I mean? Did she scream dropped inputs? No, she didn't do that. Doesn't know what that is. Best sim strategy. I don't know enough to comment, but I bet you this goes to Dune Spice Wars. It was highly praised. It's Dune. So yeah. Probably going to go to Dune. She's come a long way. She used to quit when she wasn't good. Yeah. She did. She used to want to quit a game if she wasn't good at it. I remember Nintendo Sports Bowling, and then it clicked. I made her keep playing, and she got really, really good, and it's like it clicked in her brain. I was like, girl, you can become good at games. Just keep going. And ever since then, she plays games very differently. Walk past her in a room, she's going to be saying cheap. Yeah. You guys think this goes to Mario? I mean, I know the XCOM type of game is very popular, and I know the new take on Mario Rabbids, people seemed to really enjoy it. It was more freeform. I played it a little bit. I think my nephews had it, and I played it for a little bit. I just don't know. I was going to consider getting it and playing with my wife, but I feel like those XCOM games, I feel like I get burnt extremely fast on them because it becomes so formulaic. It's like, oh, you did the wrong thing in the wrong order, right? So then you end up dying. You end up losing or whatever. Does that make sense? I don't know. This guy's saying, Jason, what do you mean? What you said was stupid. What did Jason say that you didn't like? God of War players like watching the cutscenes and stupid QTE boss fights. Oh, I agree. Yeah, what he said is stupid. Why are you saying stupid stuff, Jason? So yeah, probably between Dune and Mario Rabbids. Mario's got a pretty big edge, though. Pretty popular cat. Pretty popular name. Sounds like it's time for a family game review channel for you and your daughter. putting kids in content's touchy, man. My son and her are going to join me for the Lego channel. If you guys are fans of Lego, you can check out my Lego channel. You can also check out the wish list and send Lego sets to create a backlog for us. The Lego command or the wish list command. Thank you to everybody who has jump started it. We've got a couple of the sets right next to me, the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing. So check that out. My son and my daughter are going to join me for some builds soon, but they won't be on camera. It gets a little funky when kids are on cam. It kind of changes the way that the YouTube handles the channel. So, best sports and racing. I don't have a dog in this fight. I'll give it to Ollie World because it's the only one that's not like a well-known title. You know what I mean? Give it to Ollie World. FTC is directly stating one of their key reasons in suing is to block the deal. How Microsoft handled the Bethesda deal with the regulators. Said they'd keep games multi-platform and then change their minds later. Huh. Do people get exhausted just saying this stuff? It's certainly not 2K23. Forza didn't get a vote. Oh, Forza's not on there, so I didn't vote. I was going to say Forza was last year. Was in contention last year. $2K23 was bad. We haven't gotten a lot of new subs today, man. Thank you so much. Let me switch scenes just briefly for just a second. Let me just switch scenes for just a second. We're usually in this scene doing a talk show. I am safe for work. Thanks so much for being here. The name of the channel is Reforge Gaming. We will be co-streaming the Game Awards this evening, which is in about 4 hours. So make sure you have the bell button checked and all that. I really hope you come back. It's really fun to have a bunch of new subscribers for a show where we're just making predictions about the Game Awards. So welcome on in. I hope you hang out. I hope you get a gifted membership. I've been gifting 5 members every time we get 25. So every 25 members I gift. So keep hanging out, keep being here, keep chatting and being awesome, and you might get a membership. I don't have a dog in this fight, so it'd be cool to see Ollie World win because it's totally the underdog out there. But it'll probably go to Gran Turismo 7. You know what I mean? So, best multiplayer. I hope this goes to Splatoon because Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer made me want to punch things. It was glitchy, it was buggy, it was bad for like a straight week. Right here, outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massive multiplayer experiences irrespective of game genre or platform. So the co-op was broken week 1. The multiplayer gameplay and design didn't work week 1. Skill-based matchmaking ruins virtually every aspect of MW2. So I hope it goes to Splatoon. Like, MW2 absolutely disappointed me at multiple levels of game design choice. It really, really did. Really did. Spec Ops didn't work right. You know, I don't know. It just irritated the freaking fire out of me. I did everything I could to enjoy MW2. So, I just don't see what all the hype for Ragnarok is. It's the same thing as the rest of the God of War games. Spoken like someone who's never played it, so no one cares what you think or what you say. That would be like me saying, I just don't get why everybody's so excited about Forza and Gran Turismo. They're just the same as all the other racing games. Like, spoken like a true ignorant person. Like, it's clear you haven't played them. It just is so crystal clear. Anytime somebody talks about God of War the way you are, I immediately know you've never touched the games. I know. So your credibility and authority on the subject is non-existent. So why should we try to win you over? So. Content Creator of the Year. Gonna go to Mr. Luddy Lud. This is going to Ludwig, no doubt. If Ludwig doesn't win this, I'll be just incredibly surprised. That guy is just... And he is an absolute... He just hustles. He moves. He works. He's creative. He's innovative. I had always said that the future of content creation was highly produced, segmented content, And I believe that Ludwig has raised the bar with that type of content. I think he's an innovator. I think he's visionary. So I think it goes to Ludwig. And I would 100% vote for him. I believe I did vote for him when I did this. I thought QT Cinderella might take it. She's kind of risen in popularity. Everybody, and honestly, she's the only girl. So I mean, she might actually end up stealing this because the dude bro fest over here might self cannibalize itself. But I would say it goes to Ludwig. But who knows? QT Cinderella might steal this literally because she's the only girl. She's the only girl up there. These guys over here, they might kind of fold in on themselves. I think Ludwig's learning a lot from spending so much time around Jimmy. Chosen Rebellion. I love their content. Shut up, Wheezy. Wheezy is trying. Wheezy is baiting chat. He's trying. For a streamer or content creator who made an important and positive impact on the community. Yeah, like Rebellion doesn't create. What does Rebellion create? Literally voted. I'm not kidding. Because of tweets? Expert tweeter of the year? Like, I don't understand. He was actually useful. Yeah, but this says a streamer or content creator who's made an important and positive impact on the community. The work that goes into content creation and streaming, this guy should not be included with the level of work ethic, grit, and determination that it takes to create content and stream. I'm sorry. This is not an insult to Rebellion, but him being up here is an insult to the rest of the people up there. His curation skills were certainly important. No, that the level of work that goes into live streaming and content creation, as someone who has been live streaming for 8 years and plans and researches and sits in front of a live audience and has to be creative and entertaining, absolutely not. He should not be up here. It is an insult to the people up here that literally put themselves, their personality, their face, their voice out there in the public, their creativity, their vision. No, he shouldn't be up there. If he wins, I will be absolutely incensed because that you're not creating anything. Curating information and riding on the relevancy and hype of other things, like, no. The amount of disrespect right now, the man is a genius. I'm not questioning his intelligence, genius, or work ethic. He's not a content creator or a streamer. Like, that's just categorically broken to be like, this guy is really, like, what, should Tommy Hendy be up there? Let's put Tom Henderson up there. He launched Insider Gaming and leaks stuff and has a great website, really good information. That's not content creation or streaming. I really do think I don't think people fully grasp what it takes to be these other four people. Right? What it takes to be these other four people is incredibly rare and difficult. And doing what this guy did, come on. Having sources and tweeting. And you just got there first, bro. Like, early adopter. Like, so many people do this. So many people have tweet accounts, like Wario and others have accounts that just troll over the internet and troll it all and curate it all and grab it all. Like, no. I don't know why Doc's not up there, but I just think Doc's still kind of like radioactive. I don't watch Ludwig. Yeah, if you don't watch the other people, that's fine, Wheezy. That's fine. I'm saying the fact that he's up here is just, it's an insult to the work and the grind and the vision and the talent that it takes to be a successful streamer and content creator, right? It just, we have different categories for a reason, okay? It would be like having the best actor category and then have like some person up there who's someone's agent. Like, what the frick? Yeah, it takes a lot of work and talent to be a really good agent and to book tons of work, but you're not in the same category as an actor. So, Ludwig makes a lot of socialist videos? No, he does not. All right, let's go. You know how many people relied on his information that he put together and provided? Yeah, and that doesn't win him a spot in content creator and streamer. It doesn't. Being a reliable source of information, what, are we going to start putting really good reporters up there and bloggers up there too? Even the best reviewer on YouTube, Skill Up, pushed for it? That's fine. I like Skill Up, but I don't agree with Skill Up. No. Like, the amount of work and time that somebody puts in to creating content and live streaming, it's not the same as being really good at organizing information for people. Like, you're a great collator and curator. Let's put you up on a list of people. Come on. Best debut indie. Probably Vampire Survivors. Or Stray. Or Tunic. Gosh, this is another hard one. This is a hard category. Because Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors did just there, but they're all three really, really strong debut indies. They really, really are. And the award for Best Librarian goes to... Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it, Vigil? That Vampire Survivors is on this list, but it's not on the indie list. That's interesting. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Can I control click this? Dadgummit. Oh. Hang on. I want to go back to Best Indie. What's the one that made it? How far back is it? I should just use the list. Oh, it's because Cult of the Lamb, probably. Yeah, Cult of the Lamb throws it off because Cult of the Lamb's not a debut indie, but they're probably saying, like, Cult of the Lamb was incredible, right? So Cult of the Lamb, and then yeah, same with Norco. So yeah, Cult of the Lamb was not a debut indie. So that's probably why Vampire Survivors and Norco didn't get on the indie list. They probably thought, nah, Cult of the Lamb's better than Vampire Survivors. Still think Stray had the best debut? Yes. Yeah, Vampire Survivors is like a slow burn, and now they're at like a fever pitch of popularity. Tunic is also very good, but again, I don't think it... Like, Stray took the world by storm. Again, I think Stray wins this category for the same reason it wins the other indie category. It literally has a Game of the Year nomination. Like, that's such an achievement for a little kitty cat. Best adaptation. So this one is tough because Arcane was super popular. Edge Runners was super popular. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 got a lot of praise. I feel like it's probably between Edge Runners and Arcane, honestly. That would be my guess. That would be my guess here. Is that it's kind of between those two. Arcane was a W. Yeah, it's probably between Arcane and Edge Runners here. One would say, could say Stray is generationally defining. I actually think if you made me pick and guess, I agree with Wheezy. I think this is going to go to Edge Runners because Edge Runners quite literally put Cyberpunk like back on the map as a game. Like it really, really did more than just like, hey, here's an entertaining piece of content. So it faithfully and authentically adapted a video game to another entertainment medium. And then, like, it turned around and helped the video game. It was so good. So. Most anticipated game. This will probably go to Starfield. This will probably go to Starfield. Well, Resident Evil's up there. Shoot. And Final Fantasy's up there. Oh, golly. Zelda? The problem with Zelda is we, don't know anything. They gave us a trailer and a name. Kind of why I don't even want to vote for it. Hogwarts or Zelda? This is a tough category, man. Everything up there has something behind it. Zelda has Nintendo and the ravenous Zelda fans behind it. Hogwarts has Harry Potter. Resident Evil has been around for forever. Final Fantasy is like one of the longest standing franchises in existence. This one's tough. I don't think that Starfield's anticipated as you think. I don't know. Every time anybody on YouTube talks about it, I don't know. Bethesda and Todd Howard have like a unique relationship with the gaming world and gaming news. I feel like Starfield is pretty up there. Pretty up there. I think Starfield's behind Zelda, says Wheezy. Yeah, I think Starfield's up there, man. I really do. We didn't know anything about Elden Ring and it won this award twice. That's fair pushback. That's fair pushback, Loot. Yeah. Yeah, the hype for Starfield's pretty strong. It's a very anticipated game. Best esports game. I'm pulling for Valorant just because it's the new kid on the block. So I hope Valorant wins this category. It's going up against some absolute big dogs. So this is a hopeful thing. It'll probably go to CSGO or League. I don't think Rocket League has a strong presence like it used to. I don't know about Dota, but I know CSGO and League are just always around. They're just so big, so big. So I'm pulling for Valorant because they're the underdog in this list. They're the new kid on the block. Esports athlete. I have absolutely no input here. I voted for the guy that plays Valorant because of the difficulty of jumping into a brand new game and being successful. CSGO, League of Legends. Like these guys are, probably at this point just like endemic to the esports scene. So I voted for this guy. I voted for Jacob just on principle of the fact that jumping into a new game's tough. Skip. Athlete, Lamau. I mean, an athlete is etymologically connected to the word athletics. So I do think it is a little weird to call them athletes. Like if you kind of study the word athlete and the word athletics and what it was born out of, yeah, it's pretty loose, Now calling it esports, I think is fine because a sport just needs to be competitive, right? But athletic, no. Best esports team, I don't have any idea. I voted for the Valorant team, so. Fingers have muscles. I mean, hang on. I might change my position. What's athletic mean? Physically strong, fit, and active, relating to athletes or athletics. Athletics, plural as a definition, the noun. Physical sports and games of any kind. You see what I'm saying? It's a physical sport. The sport of competing in track and field, including running. Like, that's what it was born out of. you really dig down on the etymological background of it, you're probably going to find that's Latin, darling, right? Probably Latin or maybe Greek, probably Grecian. Goes back to the first known use. Yeah. Doesn't it be physical to be exhausting? It's just that the word athlete is derived from athletics, and athletics is about a physical competition. Did it say or games of any kind? No, I don't think so. Athletics, physical sports and games of any kind. So is physical modifying sports and games? Right? Or is it saying physical sports and games of any kind? If that's the case, then I guess you can say any game is athletic, but that would be weird, right? A game of checkers isn't athletic, is it? I feel like physical is modifying both sports and games. It's saying, listen, it's a physical sport or a physical game of any kind. I don't think it's saying physical sports and games. Like, we're not gonna say like a game of jacks or dice is athletic. We don't refer to chess players as athletes, do we? We refer to them as chess players. We don't say chess athletes, we say chess players. It's a player of chess. So with esports, it would be an esport player, not an esport athlete. Eating Oxford comma. It is athletic, though. You have to use just as much intellect for games. I'm not talking about the intelligence, the mental acuity, and the sharpness and the practice that they have to do. I'm just saying the word itself has a limitation because of its origin and how it's commonly used. Would you call a poker player an athlete? No, you would call them a poker player. You don't say poker athlete. No one says poker athlete or chess athlete. We acknowledge the skill and the practice and the intelligence that goes into chess and poker. But you would say a poker player, a chess player, an esports player. They're a player. They're not an athlete. I don't even think an esports player would want to be called an athlete because it's not a physical competition. Gaming at that level requires physical shape. Reflexes, speed, sharpness of mental. Like they can't be like an absolute blob or a slob because they have to be able to move quickly. Find me some fat pro gamers at the highest level. You know, I think you could argue there is a physicality to it. I think you could argue that, actually. Mouse and keyboard players especially, there's a physicality to it. Good posture, fast reflexes. Controller players a little bit less, but there still is a physicality to it. I don't care. Yeah. There are a couple of fat pro players. Yeah, I don't want to start looking up pro players and analyzing their BMI and, you know, how heavy they are. I don't think that's going to be a fruitful endeavor. I think the word athletic has baked into it the idea of a physical competition. And I do think there is a physical element to... Yeah. It's loose. It's loose. I don't know. I would say they're a player. Chess player, poker player, esport player. I don't think they're athletes. I'm not saying that to denigrate them. I'm saying I don't think they're in the same category as like physical competitions. Best esports events. I don't really care. Well, Yeah, it's not about being fat or out of shape either. Yeah, fat, weight is not just necessarily the, indicator or anything. If in order to compete at the highest level, nutrition, exercise regimens, etc. are required, does that not require a level of athleticism? I think it's less about, because Eugene, you could make that argument with poker and chess, right? If they stick to a very good nutritional diet and exercise regimens, it increases their mental acuity and sharpness, which makes them a better player, right? But you wouldn't say the actual contest in and of itself is physical. You wouldn't say that poker and chess are physical contests. You wouldn't say that a game of Valorant is a physical contest. There's physical elements to all of it, right? Hold the cards, move the chess pieces, move the mouse. I don't know. The actual contest itself isn't physical, which is where I'm kind of like, it's not athletic. Someone has to say it. Cheerleading is not a sport. Yes, it is. Competitive cheerleading is very much a sport. Why would you say that? The physical requirements of cheerleaders and what they have to do? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. The average male or female cheerleader would be able to literally kick the living snot out of you. Like, they are massively, massively strong. They're very, very strong. They're very strong. Just because cheerleading happens to also be associated with, like, skimpy outfits and big boobs doesn't mean that there's not a ton of athleticism involved. Yo, what's good, Big O? Thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. Now, cheerleading is extremely, extremely athletic. In some cases, I would say cheerleading requires more athletic endurance and strength, more overall body strength than some sports. Like, you can be, I actually would say most cheerleaders are in better physical peak condition than a lot of the baseball players that are out there. They have to be in peak physical condition. The overall body strength, their entire body has to have not just strength, but crazy levels of endurance. And they're probably in more peak physical condition than a lot of the baseball players out there. I believe archers are considered athletes. Yes, because there's tons of athletic strength and ability expressed in archery. Esports co-opted the term athlete to give themselves credibility and relevance. Doesn't make it true. Nobody naturally thinks, wow, what an athletic play that was. That's right. Upload a video to the members page on Discord doing a standing full tuck, if you know what that is. If you don't know what that is, sit down. Baseball players are much more fit. Baseball players are much more fit than they used to be. Yes, Doom. But what I'm saying is their overall body strength, their legs, their upper body and arm strength and endurance, I would put cheerleaders above most baseball players. Yes, I would. As far as the ability to run and jump and hold and flip and to continue to do it for long periods of time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not saying baseball players aren't fit. What I was saying is cheerleaders are probably more holistically fit and strong than most baseball players. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, yes. Hey, that was a reconnection. I think that was a really fast one, though. Yeah, that was an ingest server reconnection. That was a really fast one. It probably is going to cause some blips and backup blips. We can get off this screen. That was like 20 seconds. Big blip. Other people are saying quick blip. Some people are saying quick. Some people are saying long. Yeah. Yeah. Cheerleading is very competitive and very athletic. Yeah. Oh, yours was a big one? Was 2 seconds for me, says Tempa. Baseball players have strong shoulder strength. A lot of baseball players are going to be really, really strong in certain areas. I'm not buying into cheerleaders overall being more fit than baseball players. Are you kidding me? How many baseball players you see walk up to the plate and are kind of tubby and slow? There's a lot that are. There's plenty that aren't. I'm not saying all baseball players. I'm saying look at the entire MLB. A cheerleader cannot be slow and a little tubby. They can't be. They won't make it. You can be a baseball player and be a little a little soft in the midsection. You can. You can be a really good baseball player and, be not quite in tip-top shape. That doesn't mean that all baseball players are. What I was saying is if you are going to be a competitive cheerleader, your entire body has to be at peak physical strength. You're talking about people that if they are even the least bit weak or lacking in physical fitness, they don't make it. They don't make it. You know what I'm saying? There are plenty of baseball players that are in tip-top physical shape, but there are also a ton of them that just aren't because they kind of can be. The sport doesn't demand it of them. I'm married to a former heptathlete. Go look it up. There are plenty of chubby, average fitness cheerleaders. Well, I'm not talking about fitness cheerleaders. If you're talking about MLB, if you're talking about Major League Baseball, professional baseball players, professional, competitive level baseball players, competitive level cheerleaders. Professional level competitive cheerleaders is what I'm talking about. They are way more fully fit than the average baseball player. He's considered an overweight MLB player. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Right, but being a baseball Hall of Famer doesn't mean he's as physically fit as a tip-top shape competitive cheerleader. So he's a Hall of Famer, right? He's one of your best baseball players as an example. Okay, put him up against a competitive cheerleader in the peak of their competitions, and they're gonna run circles around him. Circles. He's gonna be gassing and out of breath, and they're gonna still be going. And that homie's gonna need oxygen. Doorway player has to play 162 games in the MLB, not to mention spring training. Yeah, and how much of a baseball game is literally spent sitting or standing around? I'm not denigrating baseball players. What I'm saying is I'm trying to denounce this notion of the cheerleaders aren't athletes or cheerleaders aren't strong. Homie, so much of baseball is sitting around doing nothing. $5 from Detective C's. I'd like to apologize for starting this by quoting a movie line. Cheerleading isn't a real sport. Oh, you were quoting a movie. He has to do the most difficult thing in all sports, 162 games. What he does is incredibly highly skilled. Hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things to do in any competitive sport. I think what's the second hardest thing compared to it? Is it deflecting a puck or stopping a puck in hockey because it's so fast? I think deflecting a puck in hockey is next in line. Hitting a baseball is ridiculously hard. But we're not talking about skill. We were talking about physical fitness. Give me your Hall of Famer David Ortiz, and I'll take one of the best cheerleaders and they're gonna smoke him in virtually all of the like endurance challenges. They're gonna smoke him. Now, maybe he can squat more, maybe he can bench press more. He probably has brute strength that makes him a monster. But I said overall physical fitness, their entire body has to be in tip-top shape. Their legs, their upper torso, their upper body, their core, their stabilizer muscles. It's a different form of fitness. That's the point that I was making is you can be kind of tubby and a little out of shape and be an amazing baseball player. You can't do that in competitive cheerleading. You're a little out of shape, you're a little soft in your midsection, you're not going to make it in competitive cheerleading. You got to be at the top, at the tippity top of your game. They are very strong. They're very strong. Dad bods are prominent in pro baseball. That's what I'm saying, man. Come on, dude. I'm not going to sit here and denigrate dad bods. You know, a lot of this audience probably has a dad bod. You're a little soft in your midsection. That's fine. There's no shame in that. You're older. You're busy. It's hard to eat well. It's hard to stay active. I get it. I lost a lot of weight recently with some changes because I was letting myself go. Listen, man. I was pushing back on somebody saying something about cheerleaders. I was like, what the frick? What are you saying about cheerleaders, man? They're crazy strong. They are really competitive, bro. They're tough. They're extremely tough. I know there are two forms of fitness that are different. I'm just using this to talk baseball. I know. Listen, if you've never been here before, this is what we do. We get into fun debates and discussions. Usually it's about games. You know, I'm kind of glad to debate this instead of debating God of War Ragnarok versus Elden Ring, because we've done that so many times. Like, this was a little bit refreshing to debate something completely different. So make sure that you guys are, subscribed with the bell button pressed, all the things. Make sure that you guys are doing that. Make sure you're supporting our uploads here on the channel. We've brought reaction content sort of home here, and I think it'd be a good time to point you guys at our Hellblade video that we debuted yesterday. It's me reacting to an article about Hellblade getting compared to God of War Ragnarok and how people are concerned about that. I'm going to be back here, okay? I'm going to be back here in 3.5 hours, around 7 o'clock Eastern. We're going to go live. We're going to co-stream the Game Awards. Make sure you're subscribed, bell button pressed. Make sure you're hanging out in the Discord. I'm going to put a link in chat. If you didn't watch the Hellblade video yesterday, go watch it. And also, if you've already watched the Hellblade video and you'd rather just maybe go support the Lego channel if you haven't checked it out yet, I will use the Lego command as well. So consider subscribing and supporting the Lego channel. Help that thing get monetized. Or if you missed it, I have a video about Hellblade. There's a link in chat. Choose which one that you would like to support. And I'll see you back here in about 3.5 hours. Thanks, guys, so much for a great and spirited debate. We'll see you tonight.